Hello, fellow starseeds. And yes, I always say starseeds because every single one of us is a starseed. Every single one of us has universal DNA within us. And so I call everybody fellow starseed. Um, Today, I've been doing my morning meditation, and there are I've decided to just tap into what universe wants you to know. There's a lot going on in the world right now. There could be a lot affecting you personally right now. A lot of shifts are going on, planetary and otherwise. So, sorry, these glasses don't like to sit on my face very good with my headphones and mic. Um, so, I'm just going to ring my bell and clear anything that we don't need around us right now so that we can hear messages clearly. And in my morning meditation, I picked up, we're also going to clear with our pendulum. So, my morning meditation, I also picked up that they want me to speak to you about dimensions and raising your frequency, raising your vibration, and raising up through those dimensions so that one, you understand what they feel like, and two, so that you know that you can make anything in your life happen that you want to happen. And that takes your mind being clear, and it takes meditation, and it takes being quiet, being quiet and listening in that meditation. And I know easier said than done sometimes. I always have my pine cone with me. Anybody that knows me, I have Anunnaki, straight Anunnaki DNA. Pine cones present themselves to me. And this is what I hold on to when I do people's Akashic Records readings. Um, yeah, this is a very special, it resonates actually. It's got a frequency to it. And it presented itself to me. And so this is a very special pine cone to me. So I always hold my pine cone. Um, but with everything going on in the world right now, I know there's a lot of you out there that know you are different. You know that you are gifted, but you might not be seeing the bigger picture of just how gifted you are. You might say, oh, I'm a psychic, I'm a medium, I can heal people, I'm an energy healer, these different things. Or maybe you just have that inkling in you that there is something different about you that, and you just haven't connected with it yet. So, this is one reason why it's very important for people to get their Akashic records read. And I will get into that a little bit later. But in order to open yourself up, you need to get into the practice of meditation and just being quiet and sitting and listening to the messages that you're getting. And they, the universal beings, the universe emphasized dimensions to me to talk to you about in this podcast today because all of us have within us to raise dimensions and travel through dimensions and raise our vibrations and raise our frequency. And when that happens, yes, it's an ascension for you, but it also adds to the collective consciousness of the ascension going on. So, since there's so much craziness going on Earth right now, that is the system that the universal beings want you to get out of. And it is a system, and it is run by a specific race of universal beings, and it's meant to keep you pulled down into this 3D world of the earth to not feel those little things of joy, to not be connected with the earth and nature and the universe, to not understand your full power and what you can do to help the earth and help the people of earth. And it's in your food that you eat, it's in products that are sold, it's in corporations and money and greed and war and violence and anger and all of these things that people do to each other and cause to happen to our planet. So, and a lot of you, the, the, the bigger you are in the universe, the more turmoil you will face in your life because the more they're going to try to stop you from taking down this system. So, this really reaches out to, those of you that are in the LGBTQ community, and those of you that just know you are different, you've been different your entire life, and those of you that have experienced abuse and abusive people and all of these horrible things that we can experience on the earth. And the universal beings literally give like credit to those of us that sign soul contracts to come and live on this earth. And however many times you do it, because this is the most hostile place to come. And a lot of them don't want to do that, but they are still helping us in the background. And so you need to figure out and tap in and find your true self, your true meaning. And it has nothing to do with anybody else. It doesn't have to do with your kids, with your family, with your upbringing, with whoever you're deciding to be with in a romantic relationship. It is literally just you. What are you resonating at? If it is a very low frequency, you will know it because you will not feel joy in those very simple things. I have gone through things that should have literally killed me, and I'm still working through some of these things and cleansing my energy of them. And I don't want anybody out there to think that there's there's not answers for you, because there are. And I also want everybody to know that I will always work with people, even if you don't have the money to pay me, because it's the conscious collectiveness. You need to raise your frequency, you need to raise your vibrations, you need to find that frequency. So, are you able to walk outside and, like, just before I started this podcast, there was a flock of geese that flew over me and they were calling, and I just looked up and just stared and like took them in. Um, are you able to take in those tiny little joys? Are you able to, you make your morning cup of coffee. Hopefully, it's like organic and healthy for you and not some sugary mess from Starbucks. But I'll get into that in a minute too. But are you able to like really just sit and taste it and feel the thankfulness for having that experience in your life? Those little things. Are you able to use your voice? Are your chakras clear? Are you having health issues? Like I don't have I have some makeup on right now to like cover up my eyes because they're very red all around my face and you can see it on my neck. I get inflammatory responses when I'm going through something very difficult, very painful. So pay attention to what your body is telling you. And when you can get into deep meditation and just let your body relax, shove everything of this chaotic world out. And it takes practice, and you have to keep pushing it out, pushing it out, pushing it out until you get into that practice of I'm meditating and nothing else matters right now. And just get into that still calmness and just be quiet. Be quiet in your mind, be quiet in your energy. Let your entire body relax. It takes practice. And so you're going to have to get into that habit of practice. And it's easy for it to fall away and go out of practice when you're going through something chaotic, painful, those kinds of things. Like I do the same thing. Then I get and then it goes one day I haven't meditated to 2 days I haven't meditated and it goes on and that's not the way to stay healthy and stay present. So you need to get into this practice. I cannot touch on that enough. There are things that you can plants that you can use, and marijuana is one of them. You obviously don't want to be smoking and taking marijuana all the time on a constant basis because that will not be good for your body and your senses. There's also mushrooms that you can take. You obviously don't want to do those all the time because that will affect your mind as well. You can use hop-A, rape-A. These are known by native peoples. They still make them. And a lot of people that have gone through extreme trauma can make sure you find somebody that is a master shaman if you're going to do an ayahuasca ceremony. So that's very important to know. And so you can use these things to help ground you. I use hape a lot. Um, I will have marijuana every once in a while just to ground me, center me sometimes if things are going on in my life, but to also open me up during meditation to messages. But most of the time, if I'm just connecting with the universe and just listening and living in joy, then those things don't need to be added, but they can be a tool for you. But please don't think that I'm out here pushing drug use on people because that is not the intended message. I'm just saying they can be used as a tool for you. And you also need to listen to your body. Medications from a physician, from Big Pharma, poison your natural body. So, and once again, I'm not telling people not to go to the doctor, but doctors, that is what they do. They prescribe. And a lot of times you don't need that. And your body, it will react in a physical way. Like I'm trying not to itch my neck right now. It will react in a physical way to things that are going on in your life. And I have done another podcast where I talk about illnesses that certain universal being DNA races have that are common to them that will show up in your life because you have that universal DNA in your life. And the stronger of a universal being that you are, you also have to remember the less human that you are within your energy. Your energy might be shoved into this human Homo sapien body at the moment, but your energy has stored all of this from all of your lifetimes and it's still there. So it's very important that you ask the universe to constantly adjust your body as you're going through this ascension and raising your frequencies and your vibrations, and you start to travel through dimensions. And this can get into astral projecting. I do that a lot. And it can be a bit scary to people because you're like leaving your body and going somewhere else. Um, so if that's something that you want to get into and work on, like you can reach out to me if you have questions about that. I do it on purpose because I want to leave this earth for a while and get to a peaceful place. So I do it on purpose. And raising your frequency also means when you're finding your true self and you're loving your true self, you can see in your mind and in your energy, your whole body knows and can see where you should be. Your mind is already there. This is me. And it's taking you there. And you feel very peaceful there. You feel very joyful there. There's no fear there. You feel safe there. That is you. So it might have to do with getting abundance of money. It might have to do with getting out of the constant work grind that this 3D world has made you think that you need to have. It may be shifting away from people that have been in your life because they themselves and their energy no longer serves you, and it probably hasn't served you well, maybe for a very long time. And those are very hard things to do. But in the end, it ends up benefiting you. So, and I do actually speak from experience of going through all of these things. I have dismissed everybody in my life with the exception of like a couple of people and pulling in those people that I know will benefit me. So when I meditate, I'm asking for those people to be presented into my life. And it is hard to get away from people in your life, to just cut them off and break off from them. It doesn't mean that you have to have some confrontation. It doesn't mean it has to be nasty. It just means that that person and that energy just isn't working with where you want to be in your life. And if you're watching this, it's because you know that you are gifted, you are a healer, that you have a bigger place on this earth. You look up at the night sky, even if you live in the city and can't see the stars, you know they're there. You feel the universe. You have other gifts that you can help people with. So you can see spirits of humans that have passed on and past lives that you've had. Whatever is going on within you, you need to tap into that and dig deeper into it. So, as each person, the reason this is so important that people start raising themselves through these dimensions and not sit in this 3D dimension of Earth is because it raises the conscious collective. It's a collective. So think of it like a giant spider web. Even if you've never met this other person clear across the world and don't even know that they actually exist, you're still tapping into that collective of these people that are going into these higher vibrations. You are part of that system. And that's how you change things on this earth. And there are other ways that, yes, you can change things on earth. You can fight our corrupted systems that have made our air bad, our waters bad, and polluted us with nasty food and pharmaceuticals. And you get a higher understanding of frequencies and how they can heal you. And people will start to come into your life that are a benefit to you because you're vibrating at higher and higher frequencies. So that is why it's so important for you to learn to move through dimensions. And this is, I do this with clients through quantum meditation, and I take them through and get them to go through different dimensions. And once you start doing that, you're taken to the most beautiful places and calm places, and you start to get your bigger and bigger and bigger picture and purpose. So, this is also another reason why it's very important for people to get your Akashic records read, because the universal beings are trying to speak to you because you have their DNA in you. And they're trying to teach you the way that things should be. Abundance should be in everybody's life, not because you're working like a dog to barely make it by paycheck to paycheck and making somebody else rich because you're buying into this 3D system. No, because there is enough money for everybody. There is enough abundance for every single person to be able to live how you want to live, that literally brings you joy, pure joy, and you will bring money in. So that's also part of manifesting who you are. You see who you are, and in your mind, you are that person. You are doing those things, even if at the moment, right at the second, it's not happening. You will start to shift into that because it's already there. And when you're going through hard times or something has happened, keep meditating, keep going through the dimensions, keep reaching out to the universal beings. So when you get your Akashic records read, you get specifically the lineage, your DNA lineage of the universal beings that are stored in your energy. And you also get your past lives on earth as well. So that helps you communicate with these universal beings individually. It also helps you connect with them. Like, I can go outside at night and I can do it by myself, or I can have a group of people and we just sit there, and as a collective or by myself, I put out who I am, when I was born into this lifetime, my location, and I start to narrow it down. Like, here's Earth, here's the continent I'm on, here's the country I live in, here's the state I live in, here's the city I live in, here I am. And I'm beaming this out of my crown chakra. And they will come to you. You'll start to see like a light and orbs and things that people are like recording all the time now. The universal beings are making their presence known more and more and more and more. And that is for a reason. But within that too, with everybody recording a lot of things, I just put this out there. You also need to be tapped into your third eye and feel it out. And is that man made, or is this a universal being? Because no matter what your government is trying to tell you, especially in the United States, they have this kind of technology that can look like an alien craft. And it is not from the universe. It is very much from this 3D world made by people that have bad intentions. So you need to feel that out. Is it from the universe? But they will come in and there's this huge light show going on in the sky, and you'll see even smaller crafts come in, like even closer to you. And you'll know it's from the universe because love and joy and peace is just resonating off of this thing. And you don't want this experience to stop. So these are things that you start to do as you raise your vibrations and your frequency and making direct contact with these beings. And then if you get your Akashic records read, which I do for people, I read Akashic records, you know your starseed lineage. So you can call on specific beings from the universe to help you, to be with you, to mend you, to heal you, to help you find your path. And you can communicate with them just as me being psychic can communicate with spirit. But you're reaching out directly sometimes to a specific group because you know what they can bring to you and you have specific questions for them. And so my Akashic records or DNA chart is very long, and I go back into the Akashic records a lot because the story never stops. Like, your energy is very, very old. It's been to a lot of places, and living this life on Earth, you have been told and basically manufactured that these things do not exist. And your goal in this whole life is to get go to college, get this career, find the person you're supposed to be with, have kids, get a house, and have the things and the money and the things, and and that's what brings you happiness. Like, having abundance of money, yes, we all want that, and that is a good thing to manifest into your life because money is a part of this 3D system in order to survive, and there is abundance of money, and the universe will provide it for you. But the universe does not want you to work in the greed system. What is the point of living a life if you're working constantly to have a lot of things and a lot of money and a lot of status, and you're missing just living life and living a peaceful life? That is not a peaceful life. You are rushing around all day long, doing things all day long. Your mind is never shutting off. You're running massive corporations. You're doing all of these things. That is not what the universe wants for your life because there is no quiet there. There's no quiet there. You might be able to take luxury, lavish vacations, but your mind and you still don't stop working. Those people still don't stop working. So abundance of money, an abundance of love, an abundance of joy, yes, they want that for you. And they want you to find what you want to do on this planet that brings you peace and love and happiness. If that's having a homestead somewhere, you will be provided with that abundance. You will be provided with that money. So it's not being a part of the greed system. And by the way, this greed system that we are all still living in and under, and the mega rich, very few. The sad thing is that if you just took three of those people and distributed their money around the world, everybody would have enough to eat. They would have a house over their head. They would not be robbing and committing crimes and violence. People do not wake up saying, I want to live this crazy crime filled life. They want to have a peaceful life, but they've never had a chance to get there because this system blocks you from getting there. This 3D system of greed blocks you from getting there. So then you turn to this life of chaos and crime and things in order to just survive, to live, or you become a drug addict because you've experienced so much pain from this system. So it like my ears are ringing, so I need to listen first. Just a sec. They want everybody to know that this is the problem. And they want everybody to know that each and every one of you are very important. We are all gifted in some way, in different ways, to serve our Mother Earth planet and to serve humanity. So, like me, for instance, I am also a medium. I get a lot of suicides when spirits come to me. And that's because I'm a very, very strong empath. And I know and understand what that pain feels like. So I can help them move on. Just by moving on spirits, if you're a medium, you're helping raise the vibrations of the earth. So it's very important for you to know your gifts, to tap into those gifts, and to get your universal story. So you can start communication with the universal beings so that you know your universal DNA, so that you know how to contact them, to bring them to you, to feel abundance of joy, abundance of peace, abundance of money in your life and not fear things. You know, am I going to be able to feed my children? And how am I going to pay the electric bill? And, or find yourself with very bad people, especially like I said, the higher, the more of a story you have in the universe and the more powerful you are, the more of a magnet you are for those bad people, because the the system that is running this 3D world wants them to be able to take you out and take you down. And I've seen, like, time and time again with clients, and that's when it gets hard, that you have to move people out of your life and you have to choose for yourself. I don't want this in my life. So when you go into quantum meditation, you are going to basically experience a type of astral projecting, and you're going to be taken, but with your third eye and not actually leaving your body like astral projection, to these different dimensions. And you just keep going higher and higher and higher. And the more peace and the more joy and the more love that you feel. And so that's what the universe wants for you. So you've got to learn how to meditate, how to just be still and listen and know yourself. And if your job isn't serving you, you're coming home exhausted, you need to get out of that. If your job is making poisonous things that do harm to people, you need to get out of that. You need to listen to what your energy is telling you you should be doing. And it is different for every single person. So when I go into meditation, I'm literally like, I have abundance of money. I have abundance of clients and people that I'm healing either for free or for money. But I'm also doing what I need to do to heal the earth at the same time. And like The scenery is very beautiful. I'm just sitting in peace in nature. Maybe it's you want love in your life. You want that partner in your life, that person that is your equal, that is good for you. I have to picture that person in my life because I'm not a dater, and I went through a horrible experience with marriage. And so, and then for like a very long time in my life, it's like every time I opened the door to even go there, it's like more crap rolled in the door. And so I just cut myself off from it. So now when I go into manifesting and meditating, I can see that person. I can feel that person. I'm drawing that person in to me. So, like I said, just because you don't have it right this second doesn't mean it's not coming to you when you manifest and when you just get into that deep, relaxed, meditative place. And when you go through quantum meditation as well and start to go through these higher dimensions, the things that hold you back in life, whether it's your self esteem or people have made you feel so small or like you didn't matter, those things start to drift away and you start to feel your power and that you do matter and what you can do and that you're not small and to use your voice and clear that throat chakra, to clear your heart chakra. If your heart feels heavy and you actually feel pains in your heart chakra needs to be cleared. You've gone through a lot of shit. If you're not using your voice, it's because you're afraid to, because people have made you feel so small. If you're an overthinker, it's because you've been trying to people please your entire life and nothing has been good enough for whoever you're trying to people please. And so your mind is constantly overthinking things. Like your body is reacting physically, your brain is reacting physically to these things and experiences that have happened in your life. And so, quantum meditation and going through higher and higher dimensions and raising your frequency and your vibration helps you heal from those things and takes you to where you want to be. And it is important that you focus on you. Even if you have kids, you still need to put you first. Because if you don't love yourself, you cannot love your children properly. You cannot give them what they need because you're not even able to listen to your own self. And the children that are being born now have even more universal DNA in them. So, like, it's you will notice that in newborn babies that are being born now, you will feel it when you're going through this ascension process. You'll just be like, whoa, like that's just like a full like alien child right there. And in a good way, they are a light being, they are a universal being. So, like me for myself, even as a child, I've never thought of myself as human. I've always said I'm an alien. I have never subscribed to these thought processes that go on in the 3D world, like racism and war and violence and guns and all of these things that people do, or you have to meet someone and get it this career and have a house somewhere and do these things and invest in the 401k and so you can have retirement and then that's when you start living is after you retire. It's like no, no, no. I've never subscribed to any of these things. No matter who was in my life and present in my life, I never subscribed to those things. So that's why it's so important for you to get to know you so that you learn to listen to you. Then you can listen to those around you that you care about when they need someone to listen because they are experiencing things in a very different way. as well. And like I was born in the 70s, so we are called the indigo children. And, that the 60s kind of started it, of people just saying, this isn't right. So all of those people that lived through the 60s and the flower children and Woodstock and protesting Vietnam and protesting, I don't want to get married and have kids. I want to go do this and whatever, that's when it started. That was the first age of Aquarius. We are in the next age of Aquarius right now. It started this year in 2025. It seems like absolute madness and chaos right now, but you need to put yourself in a place where you're still just walking your path, and all of this madness and chaos is not penetrating. So it takes breaking habits that you have. You need to start eating healthy. You need to not be immersed into the news and social media and all of these things that are happening all around all the time. Like, it's important to know what's going on in the world, but it's also important not to watch depressive, violent TV on a constant basis. And if you just in America alone, if you look at the shows that are made to go on TV, all of them have to do with some kind of violence or trauma. Like, how many more cop shows do we need, or lawyer shows do we need, or hospital shows do we need, and superhero movies do we need? Like, it's all chaos. So you have to be mindful of what you're watching and what you're reading and what you're taking in, because that also affects your energy. So yes, I love history. I study history fanatically. I know the good history of our country and the worst history of our country. I know it world history. I know ancient history. I connect with the ancient humans that used to live here because I was here when they were here. I was a part of building the Atlantean system. All of the places all over the world with all of the temples and pyramids and monoliths, and that was all connected through the Atlantean system. I was a part of that. I remember those lives. And so when I go out and I do healings for the earth, I call on those ancient peoples of the earth. I call on the indigenous people of the earth, that I can, if I can get them to come and help me cleanse that place on the earth. And I give it back to them to monitor it. I give it back to the elementals, to the fairies, to the fae, to mend it. And I'm also relinking ley lines and those power spots on Earth. So the temples and the pyramids in Mesoamerica, the Incas, the Egyptians, Stonehenge, all of these places. There are pyramids in China that are still hidden underneath forestry, and you can't see them because China doesn't even want to acknowledge they're there. There are pyramids in Alaska. There are pyramids in Antarctica. Like, there is so much hidden history that has been kept from people that it's mind boggling. So, all of these places, that is one of the things that I am here to do, is to link them all again. So, and to heal the earth and to bring forth those ancient people to help me do it. And I'm a part of them and they are a part of me. And I've lived many lives on earth, both as a universal being and as a human. And to live life on earth as a human, you had to go through a descension process in order to live here because this place is so turbulent. And my human lives have not been good, including this one. And it's taken me to my 50s, which I'm in my 50s, to get to this place. I started in my 40s, but then like to just keep building on who I am and what I'm supposed to do and get my story and know my universal DNA. I often go astro projecting to Andromeda Galaxy. I am from Andromeda Galaxy. I will play the sounds of Andromeda Galaxy in my headphones during a manifestation sometimes. I go through the portal of the Sirius system and Sirius C. I go to the Sirians to get healing. I go to call on the Lyrans and the Vega because I am part of them, the Venusians, Venus. Now I'm actually a Libra in this lifetime, so they actually benefit me quite well. But the Octurians, they will come in and adjust you. These universal beings are here to help you. So when I go in and I meditate, I am asking them to adjust this human bio body to house my energy because my energy keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger the more that I am like recognizing and acknowledging things and having that information because we've been trained since we've been born that none of this exists. And all that matters is you going to your job every day, coming home exhausted, getting up and doing the same thing and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. And that is not actually bringing you joy. So you need to find those things that bring you joy. What do you want in your life that is peaceful, that is joyful? What do you need to change in your life? Who do you need to get out of your life? Who do you need to come into your life? You ask the universe for those things. So that is all part of quantum meditation. And I do this for people online as well as live sessions. And we go through the dimensions and we clear things that people have gone through. And you learn your universal story and you learn how to contact the universal beings and have conversations with them and what they want for you and for this earth. And I will admit that it's hard to like come back out of that meditation or go astral projecting, and I don't want to come back to this crazy place. And it is a very hard life for me to live here. I don't like how violent it is. It has been very, very hard on me. And like I said, I when I look at the things that have happened in my life, I can literally say I don't know how I'm still alive. And I know that's why I get this the suicides when people take their life as a medium to help them because I have been in those spots and I have felt that pain, that deep of pain. I have felt that. And I've seen my soul contract, which is a part of your Akashic record. So I know what I wrote in there to help me get through. And I was born on an Aries cardinal moon. So I am a Libra, and Libras typically don't like conflict. We like balance and harmony and beauty and art and all of those things. And I love all of those things. But I purposely put myself born on an Aries cardinal blood moon, actually. I am a very feisty person at the same time. So I'm a fighter, and it's gotten me through a lot of things. And that's why I get those type of people when they cross over, and I heal them and I help them get to their healing spot so that they can heal and get onto their next life because your energy will then just move on to the next thing when it is time for you to move on to the next thing. So the main message is get to know yourself first and foremost and don't let anybody take that from you ever, ever, in any way, shape, or form. I'm not going to speak to relationships because I have kept relationships at bay for a very long time because I don't want anybody to interrupt that in my life. And so now I have shifted to where I'm drawing that person in that is my equal, that is not going to disrupt that. And you need to be careful who you're in a relationship with. And you need to not give too much of yourself. And you need to not overstretch yourself. So you need to listen to your body and get your Akashic records read. It is very important because you know your lineage, you know how to contact the universal beings, you know what illnesses can affect you based on emotional trauma and pain and different things like that, and how to clear that with frequency and how to heal that with frequency. And just knowing what makes you ill and not running off to a doctor and getting a prescription for everything is also vital because those are very poisonous to your body, and they don't help a lot of times. So like I said, I'm not telling anybody not to go see your doctor if you're extremely ill, but like you can cause cancer to show up in your body because you have gone through something very, very traumatic and stressful. You need to know that. You can cause diabetes to show up in your body because of emotional pain and trauma. So, universal beings, like this place to them is very loud, very chaotic, and they're trying to get it back to what it is supposed to be when it was like the Atlantean system. And so that means no violence. Everybody has enough. There's no greed. There's none of these things that are just exhausting people and putting people in a state of fear and stretching you spiritually and emotionally on a constant basis to the point where you're either just going to break or you just tune it all out and mindlessly go through your day to day in this system. So I will, in the description for this podcast, I will put my email to direct contact me to either get your Akashic records read or for me to answer questions for you. To I will answer questions for anybody. So, baby, don't bark. And I want the world to feel joy. And so when you get tapped into this, you are literally raising the vibrations of the entire planet. It's you individually are raising the vibrations of the entire planet. And if you are a medium in any way, shape, or form, you are raising the vibrations of the planet when you help people cross over and get out of the stuck place of why ever they're stuck here. So that's very important. So all of these little things that seem so small are huge in the collective. So everything else on earth is so loud and so in your face. And these things are very quiet, but they're also very powerful. And they're more powerful than this loud place. So tap into yourself, get your frequencies raised, travel through dimensions, go astro projecting, get to know your universal DNA, get your Akashic records read, get to know your story so that you can help you're involved and you're in the web of the collective consciousness. So just like I said, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people in this web, and you not even know they exist, but you will feel them because you are a part of that collective consciousness. just like the people that want to make war are a part of that collective consciousness. Do you think those people are happy and peaceful when they go home? No. They might sit there and line their pockets with their war machine, but they definitely don't have absolute joy and peacefulness in their lives. That would be impossible. You're doing very bad things and causing very bad things to happen. So just just as an example, I know the Oppenheimer movie came out. I have not been able to watch that movie because um, just seeing images of atomic weapons literally will make me nauseous, and I will be like violently ill and puking. So I haven't even been able to watch the movie, but I know his story because I study history. So just look at that. He's the father of the atomic bomb, and he regretted that decision. And it brought a lot of misery into his life, and it did not bring him joy. So you can look at it like that. So find the thing that brings you joy and find the things that are going to help Earth have joy. That is very, very important. So that is the message that the universe wanted you to have for today. And like I said, reach out to me if you would like your records read or just have questions or anything. You want to leave your comments. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I know it's new. I don't do a lot of fancy stuff with my videos. I just sit here and talk, and sometimes I have guests, and sometimes it's just me. And I don't edit my videos. I just let them flow because I that's important to me is to just let things flow. So please like and subscribe because like I said, if you're getting this video in your life, this this podcast video, it's because you needed to hear it. And then you need to share it because there are other people that need to hear it. So I'm not pushing for the likes and subscribes because I want to have 10 million subscribers and have that YouTube thingy hanging on in the back of me. And I want it so that people can get the messages. So please like and subscribe to my channel. I am Raven Willow. You can find me on social media anywhere under Psychic Empath Raven Willow because I couldn't just do my name. Somebody else has that sucker somewhere. So that's the name on all of my social media and for this YouTube channel. And just keep living in peace and love and keep the chaos out of your life as much as possible. So I will bring you more messages from the collective and from the universe. And stay happy, my friends. Get to know your star seeds, and I will see you very, very soon.